Okay, so we have been talking about the B plus tree already. I think you also find some problem with the B plus tree, right? Because you can see in the B plus tree in the internal nodes, we may have some duplicated keys in the nodes. Like here we have 60 here, we have 60 here, and we have like a 100 here. We may also have 100 in the following nodes, right? And same for other nodes inside it. And we may have some duplicated keys stored by different nodes. And this may create some problems, especially if the B plus tree is the size very big. We may have so many duplicated keywords inside it. So this duplicate such keys may create lots of redundancy, right? Also waste lots of storage space for the B plus tree. And because of this problem, we may also want to introduce another tree structure. It's called B tree instead. B tree is very similar for the B plus tree. However, it redefines the nodes the data structure instead. So in the B tree, we will introduce a new data structure for the nodes. In the nodes, the organization of the information will be very similar. It also contains the keys as well as pointers. However, for the pointers in the B tree, you have two different kinds of pointers. One pointer is pointing to the concrete data tuples, and one pointer is pointing to the children nodes. So the main idea for the B tree is to avoid duplicated keys in the tree structure. We will also allow this record pointers in the non-leaf nodes. Before in the B plus tree, all the records will be pointed by the leaf nodes, right? And for the internal nodes, we have no pointer pointing to the concrete data tuples. However, in the B tree, we redefine the node the data structure. When now the pointers point to the concrete data tuples, matching such keys. So here is the data structure for the nodes in the B tree. We have both keys as well as pointers. Now here we have three keys, K1, K2, and K3. And the remaining entry will all be the pointers. However, for pointers, we have two different kinds of pointers. This pointer is pointing to the keys which is less than K1. As to this one next to the K1 is a pointer. It's a pointer pointing to the record with K1 as such key. In other words, this P1 will be pointing to the concurrent data tuples matching such key. And this one will be pointing to the nodes whose key is in the range from K1 to K2. This one will be pointing to the records matching K2, the record. This will be pointing to the children nodes. This one will be pointing to the concrete data tuples matching K3. And this one will be pointing to the children nodes with keys larger than K3 instead. So you can see the difference, right? In the B plus tree, we organize the pointers into two different kinds. However, we organize them into neither the leaf node or the internal nodes. In the B tree, we put them all together into one node. This will allow the B tree to have the pointers pointing to concrete data tuples in all the nodes inside its structure. So based on the nodes like this, we can define the B tree as shown here. So inside the B tree, right, we have keys, we will have the pointers. For this double line, this pointer, they will be pointing to the concrete data tuples. And this single line pointer will be pointing to the children nodes. Right. Now here we have 65, 125 as a key for the root node. It has three pointers pointing to three children nodes. And it also has two concrete record pointers pointing to the data tuples matching 65 and 125. Right. Similar for the children nodes, we will have two keys inside it. We have two different kinds of pointers pointing to either children nodes or concrete data tuples. As to the leaf node, we only have one kind of pointer because below them we have no other children nodes right anymore. We only have the pointer pointing to the concrete data tuples matching such keys. And based on this kind of B tree structures, if we plan to do a search, it will be much faster. Right? It's the same if we plan to search a data tuple matching 65. If you still remember, right, before, if we do the searching based on B plus tree, we will go from the root until the leaf nodes to find 65, right, is data tuple. We will go over all the nodes from top to down, right? So time cost will be very high if the B plus tree is very deep, right? However, for the B tree, If we plan to search for the 65, we just go to the root node, we find one tuple matching 65, we can access this pointer directly via this pointer, right? In other words, we can have access to the concrete tuples matching such keys from the inside nodes directly. We don't need to go to the different nodes anymore here, right? Because here we have one pointer pointing to the concrete data tuple matching this one already. It will be very similar if we plan to search for the 85. We can also go from the root, go to this node, and we access this pointer as well. And we can have the data tuples matching this one. And for the remaining, if we want to search for the 70, we still have to go from the root, going down, go to the leaf node to access this pointer, right? So compared with the B plus tree, the B tree will be very efficient in both storage as well as the query search process, right? It will be very useful for us. Because of this complex data structure, it will create some problems for us to maintain the B tree, especially in the insertion deletion, right? So this algorithm will also be very different from the previous one. We have to make some changes to it as well. Here we want to introduce the B tree, the insertion deletion, and you can try to do this by yourself. The algorithm can be changed based on the one we introduced before. Okay, so this is about B tree. I hope you can follow me, right? So this data structure will be very useful for us to maintain an index table inside database systems.